And now we can start the draw by first distributing the pre-allocated teams to the respective groups and drawing their competition numbers. So first pre-allocated team from the pot 1 is
Philippines.
the host Philippines will go to the group A.
The Philippines, co-hosts of the event, are playing at the World Cup for the third consecutive time. They last hosted the FIBA Basketball World Cup in 1978.
With the competition number?
3.
Number 3 for Philippines. Second pre-allocated team from the pot 1.
USA.
USA will go to the group C.
USA, having played in all 18 previous World Cups, the USA has been crowned world champions 5 times. The most recent was in 2014.
The number for USA?
1.
USA number 1. Now we are moving to the pot 2, third pre-allocated team.
Slovenia.
Slovenia will play in Okinawa in group F.
Slovenia is making their 4th appearance on the World Cup stage. Their best finish was 7th at the 2014 World Cup in Spain.
The number for Slovenia?
1.
Number 1. Now we are moving to the pre-allocated team from the pot 4.
Canada.
Canada will play in Indonesia in the group H.
Canada was
Group
the
H.
first team to clinch a spot in this year's World Cup and finished the America's qualifiers with 11 wins in their 12 games.
Number for Canada?
1.
Number 1. And the last pre-allocated team is from the pot 7.
Japan.
The host, Japan, will obviously play in Japan in group E.
Japan are co-hosts of this year's World Cup. The country is playing in the event for the 6th time and were previous hosts of the 2006 edition.
With the number?
4.
Number 4 for Japan. Now we can continue with the regular draw from starting with the pot 1, where we still have 2 remaining teams. The first team is
Australia.
Australia. As you can see on the screens, Australia has 2 options. And as explained during the draw video, when we have 2 possibilities, we'll always allocate the team to the first group available according to the alphabetical order. In this case, Australia will go to the group E in Japan.
Australia had their best finish at a FIBA Basketball World Cup 4 years ago in China when they were 4th. In the recent Asian qualifiers for this World Cup, the Boomers' 11 wins were more than any other country in the region.
The number?
3.
Number 3 for Australia. The last team from the pot 1.
Spain.
Spain will go to the group G.
Spain won the World Cup for the 2nd time 4 years ago in China. They will go into this year's big event as the number 1 team in the FIBA World Ranking, presented by Nike.
The number for Spain is
2.
number 2. We are continuing with the pot 2. First team from the pot 2.
Serbia.
Serbia will go to the first available group. This is group B.
Serbia gained a spot in the World Cup on the last day of the European qualifiers with a win over Great Britain. Serbia were runners-up at the 2014 World Cup in Spain.
Number for Serbia?
2.
Number 2. Next team from the pot 2.
Lithuania.
Lithuania will also play in Philippines, in Manila, in Group D.
Lithuania is playing at the World Cup for the 5th consecutive time. Their best finish was 3rd place in 2010.
The number for Lithuania?
4.
Number 4. And the last team from the pot 2.
France.
France will go to the Group H.
France has finished 3rd at the last 2 World Cups. They claimed 10 victories in their 12 games in the recent European qualifiers.
Number for France?
4.
Number 4. This concludes the first 2 pots, and we'll see the video before we continue. We are continuing with pot 3. Dirk, please go ahead with the first team from the pot 3.
Italy.
Italy will play in the Group A.
Italy qualified for the World Cup with 1 window to spare in the European qualifiers. They were 4th in 1978 when the World Cup was held here in Manila.
Number?
4.
Number 4 for Italy. Next team from the pot 3.
Brazil.
Brazil will go to Indonesia in the Group G.
After winning their final game of the Americas qualifiers, Brazil maintains their impressive streak of participating in every World Cup ever staged. They were 3rd when the 1978 World Cup was held here in Manila.
The number for Brazil?
4.
Number 4 for Brazil. The next team from the pot 3.
Greece.
Greece will play in the Group C in Manila.
Greece is making its 9th appearance at a World Cup. Their best performance was 2006 when they reached the final.
With the number?
3.
Number 3. And the last team from the pot 3. I think we know which one it is.
Germany.
Germany will go to the Group E in Okinawa.
Germany is coming off a strong qualification campaign with 10 wins in the recent European qualifiers. Their best performance at the World Cup was in 2002 when they finished 3rd.
With the number?
1.
Number 1. Okay, now we are continuing with the pot 4. Slovenia is already pre-allocated, but we have 3 more teams in the pot 4. So the next one is
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico will go to the Group B.
Puerto
in
Rico
Manila.
is playing at the World Cup for the 15th time in their history, and this will be their 10th World Cup in a row.
Number?
4.
Number 4. Next team from the pot 4.
Montenegro.
Montenegro will play in the group D.
After
In
making
Manila,
their
D,
debut
D.
in China 4 years ago, Montenegro has once again made it successfully through the European qualifiers.
The number for Montenegro?
3.
Number 3. And finally, the last team from the pot 4.
Venezuela.
Venezuela will play in Okinawa Arena in the group F.
Venezuela is playing at the World Cup for the 5th time in history. They advanced for the second round 4 years ago in China.
With the number?
4.
Number 4. This concludes first 4 pots, and I think we'll have some entertainment right now. It is time for the pot 5. Luis, please, first team from the pot 5.
Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic will go to the group A in Manila.
The Dominican Republic first played at the FIBA Basketball World Cup in 1978 here in Manila. They have
Number?
also played in 2014 in Spain and 2019 in China.
The number?
2.
Number 2. The next team from the pot 5.
New Zealand.
New Zealand. New Zealand will go to the group C, also in Manila.
New Zealand was the highest scoring team at the last World Cup in China when they averaged more than 99 points a game. The Tall Blacks have qualified for every World Cup since 2002 when they finished 4th.
The number?
4.
Number 4 for New Zealand. Next team from the pot 5.
Iran.
Iran will play in Indonesia in group G.
Iran has played at every World Cup since 2010 when the country made its debut in the competition. This will be their 4th appearance.
The number?
1.
Number 1 for Iran. And the last team from the pot 5.
Finland.
Finland, the last remaining group, group E, in Okinawa.
Finland was the first team to qualify for the World Cup from Europe. This will be the second time the country has played at the event after making their debut in 2014.
Number?
2.
Number 2. Let's move to the pot 6. First team from the pot 6.
Mexico.
Mexico play
After winning 8 of their 12 games in the Americas qualifiers, they reached round of 16 in their last appearance in 2014.
the number for Mexico.
2.
Number 2. Next team.
China.
China. China will play in the group B in Manila.
China won 10 of their 12 games in the Asian qualifiers to guarantee they will play at the World Cup for the 10th time in their history.
With the number?
3.
Number 3. Let's continue. Pot 6.
Georgia.
Georgia. Georgia will play in Okinawa Arena in the Group F.
Georgia's making their debut, having clinched their first ever World Cup spot in their last game of the European qualifiers against Iceland.
With the number
3.
number 3, and the last team from the pot 6.
Latvia.
Latvia going to Indonesia in the Group H.
Latvia has clinched a spot in the World Cup for the first time with a very impressive performance in the European qualifiers. After falling in their opening game, Latvia did not lose again.
The number?
2.
Number 2. So we have completed the pot 6, another short video, and we will continue.
That's right, Bogey. We're approaching the last 2 pots. Let's see.
Last 2 pots. Dirk, please. Remaining teams from the pot 7. The first one is
Angola.
Angola. Angola is going to the Group A in Manila.
Angola. This will be the 9th time that Angola has played at the FIBA Basketball World Cup, following their very impressive African qualifiers campaign, winning 10 of their 12 games.
With the number?
1.
Number 1 for Angola. Next team.
Jesus. I need some help. There you go. Côte d'Ivoire.
Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire will go to the Group G.
Les Elephants
Indonesia.
are competing at the World Cup for the 3rd time since its 2010 edition in Turkey, and their 5th time overall.
With the number?
3.
Number 3. The last team from the pot 7.
Jordan.
Jordan goes to the Group C in Manila.
This will be Jordan's 3rd time playing at a FIBA Basketball World Cup. They made their debut at the 2010 World Cup in Turkey and also played 4 years ago in China.
Number?
2.
Number 2. Let's move to the pot 8. The first team from the pot 8.
South Sudan.
South Sudan. South Sudan will play in the Group B.
South Sudan
In
is
Manila.
making their first appearance at the World Cup after a stunning African qualifiers campaign that saw the Bright Stars win 11 of their 12 games.
The number?
1.
Number 1. Next team from the pot 8.
Egypt.
Egypt will also play in Manila in the Group D.
Egypt is making its 5th appearance at the FIBA Basketball World Cup and their first since the 2014 edition in Spain.
Number?
1.
Number 1. Please continue. 2 more teams in the pot 8.
Cape Verde.
Cape Verde will play in Okinawa in the Group F.
Cape Verde is making history with their first ever World Cup appearance following their successful African qualifiers campaign. The Blue Sharks are now also the smallest nation to ever qualify for a World Cup.
And the number?
2.
The number is 2. And the last team for this draw, from the pot 8 is
Lebanon.
Lebanon. Lebanon obviously goes to the group H. In-
Lebanon is making its first appearance since 2010 on the World Cup stage following their impressive Asian qualifiers campaign with 9 wins.
Number
3.
with the number 3. And this concludes our tonight's draw.
And there you have it. The draw is officially complete.